Hello my lovelies and welcome to my channel. So this video today is actually going to be about your children in the future. So this can be about the personality of the child, a prediction of when you may have this child, or just even gender as well here. So each one's going to be different, not every single one is going to be the same. So let's go ahead and I placed out 4 different paints. There's a pink one, a blue one, a yellow one, and a green one. I'm using paint today because I was thinking of the idea of painting your own reality. Because painting your own reality is more of just listening to your intuition and your divine plan, and kind of just, it's almost like moving along the divine plan, but also by, painting the reality that you desire most. So, seeing as how, the focus is painting your reality, I have these 4 placed out, and I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and think through which one you would like to choose. I'll give you a second. Okay, so I hope you guys have chosen which one you like to choose today, and we're going to go ahead and place the others under my altar here. It's just a really low table if I'm being honest, but I've clothed it, and I also use sage and candles to cleanse it. So if you chose pile number 1 or this pink bottle, I'm going to go ahead and bring it down here for you guys. This is your pile. So there's no reversals today, but right off the bat we have the Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands, and it's very strong feminine energy here. So if you're wondering what your next child could be for this, very much the possibility is a daughter here. It's very strong, like impulsive and fiery, your daughter's going to come out being very sure of herself. She's not going to cry as much as most babies will. She's going to be very independent right off the bat. She's not going to be a fussy child by any means. Then we also have the High Priestess. So we already have 2 cards of females here, so just cementing that. And your child is going to be born with very extraordinary gifts. Your child is going to be a natural psychic and a natural energy reader, because the High Priestess is all about psychic messages and energy. And your child's going to very much listen to her intuition. So she's really going to stand out from the crowd. She's not really going to fit in very much, because even though it will lead to a lot of arguments with people, she's going to stand strong in what she knows, because she's going to listen to her intuition. So she's going to have a hard time making friends, as she's going to be able to weed out the people who are just kind of there to be like, this is how I really feel about you, but I just want to be friends with you just because, So she's going to have a hard time making friends, but even though it may seem hard at first, understand it's because that, she's just a very good energy reader. She's very intuitive. She's a psychic. So she'll know how people actually feel towards her, and she's going to be very, very beautiful, because right off the bat we have the Princess of Swords, and she is extremely beautiful, the Page of Swords. And that fire energy is also shown at the very top here with the High Priestess as well. So she's going to be very beautiful, to the point where it's almost going to seem otherworldly, because that's just how beautiful she's going to be, which is going to lead to her being able to read people very quickly. So she's not always going to play well with others. And then we have another princess here, another page, and this is the Page of Cups here. And so she's going to be very loving. Even though she's going to have a hard time making friends, she's going to be very, very loving. Funny enough, I just realized I lit 2 candles and I put them on each side, and then the High Priestess also has that. but they're on top. But yeah, she's going to be very, very loving. She's going to be quick to love, but like I said, she's going to listen to her intuition first. So if she falls in love very quickly, that just means that energetically she vibes with that person. Though her biggest lesson is learning when it's time to outgrow somebody, when it's time to let them go. Because she's going to be so quick to love, she's going to be there, she's going to be that friend that's like, hey, I'm there for you no matter what. But then she's going to grow out of friendships, and it's going to be really hard for her to understand just the need to let go of people because she's just so much love to give. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So she's going to be very money oriented, but she's going to be very much in the physical world. It's going to take her a time to really acknowledge her gifts. I have a feeling you guys are going to teach her about her gifts very early on, but even though you teach them, it is up to them to take in that information. So it's going to take some time, and she's going to be very physically oriented, and this is just how she is meant to be. Very much in the physical realm, very much in the financial and to the food type thing. Like, she's going to be very focused on that type of stuff. Very big TV person as well, like video games, I'm especially feeling. But also very much into nature. That's another part of the physical aspect. She's not going to be that kid that's going to sit inside all day, every day, just playing video games. While she will really enjoy video games, she's going to enjoy spending most of her time actually outdoors, is what I'm feeling for this deck. For this pile. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck. We have the 10 of Pentacles here. Okay, you guys. And then we have the King of Swords on the bottom. So she is going to be very witty, very quick to, like, she's going to have a very, sorry. I don't know why, I apologize. She's going to be very quick-witted. She's always going to be able to give responses quickly and efficiently. And her birthright in this life is to have the 10 of Pentacles energy. She is meant to have a happy relationship, a steady family, though the point to get there won't be as easy as we know it to be. It will take time. We have the Justice card, so she's really going to, her hardest part in life is acknowledging the dark and light aspects of herself, because she's going to be so focused on the light aspects of herself that's going to be really hard to dig deep into the negative parts of herself, because she's just going to be so positive inherently. So this is where you guys really need to step in and allow her to acknowledge that it's okay to have negative emotions. They are perfectly fine to have. It is about allowing yourself to feel these negative emotions and then continue on. You have to let them go and continue on with your life here. Yeah, the 9 of Wands. So she's really going to have a hard time with negative energy, especially from others. That's why she's not going to have many friends, because she is so sensitive to negative energy that she herself, like, funny enough, you have all females, so like I can't even say there's any masculine energy at all. Like, very strictly feminine energy here. A lot of cup and fire energy here as well. Some and earth energies. She's going to be very balanced altogether. But this is just her challenge in this life. This is her soul's challenge, is learning how to accept and acknowledge negative energy within herself. Because she's going to be very quick to point it out in others, but she's not going to be as quick to point it out to herself, which is why I think we have the two, because these two are actually labeled princesses, but I know they're pages. But she's going to be very princessy. She's going to be very almost dainty, like not in a bad way, but she's just gonna, she's going to acknowledge that she's a very beautiful woman and that she's deserving of a good life, and she has a lot of things planned out for her. Because you guys, when you guys have her, you guys will be very financially well off. That's why we have the Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles here as well. You guys will be very well off. You do not have to worry about this. But because you're so well off, she herself is going to kind of feel like a princess. She's going to be like, oh, well, my parents can take care of me. And you guys, I feel, may not have come from such good origins. You guys have worked really hard to get there. But you also don't want your child to have to experience what you had to experience, because it kind of beats the purpose. But just make sure to educate her as well. It's very important to teach them how to be humble. She will be a very humble person by nature, but we all, even though you are a certain way by nature, that doesn't mean there isn't room to grow. With this Nine of Wands here, she is going to have periods where she kind of locks herself into her mind and allows it to go wild, and she allows things to fester. So she's going to be she's going to have periods of depression. So this is where you guys, especially when she's older, because this is more of like the teenager vibe. So when she's a teenager, be wary of depressive episodes. You guys won't have to worry about like suicidal thoughts or something like that. It's just depression and anxiety are the most biggest points. And it's just going to be caused by her holding on to things that don't need to be held on to. Because in the Nine of Wands here, this gate can be easily moved. And she's choosing not to. She's choosing to sit there. So the Wands is all about desire. And I understand it's not the Nine of Swords here, but it's almost holding a similar premise. Because she has so many desires, and because she's such a positive, light, innocent, and almost naive energy, acknowledging her own desires, especially when it comes to the physical, the sexual, crushes as well. Her heart can be very easily crushed, and that's where we have the Nine of Wands here. It's kind of very much darker energy. So she will fall in love as I was saying earlier, she will fall in love very quickly. It'll be very easy for her heart to be broken. But just be by her side as she learns emotional intelligence and grows emotionally, because she won't always be that way. Yeah, no, when she gets into her 20s, you have the Ace of Wands here. That's how she's going to become. She's going to step out of that Nine of Wands energy and into the Ace of Wands energy. She's going to be a lot stronger mentally. She's going to understand her desires and allow herself to feel and express her desires. She's going to be very sexually open. So if that makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but she's not going to hide herself. Yeah, we also have the Queen of Swords here. You don't have to worry about her being used by people, because when she gets older and she starts getting into the dating world, she'll be very smart and witty and quick on her feet. Like, she's not going to let people walk all over her. So I actually want to see in what month will she be born. I won't do years, just because it can be kind of, for that is completely dependent on your divine plan, and that can shift based off of your decisions. But the month does stay the same. So I feel a very strong December baby here, because we have the Queen of Wands, but she actually looks very cozy in her clothes. It kind of feels like she's sitting inside by a fire type deal. So we have the Queen of Wands. I'm feeling very strong December energy. I know Wands is all about fire, but like if it was like for example, if we had taken out a different wand, I would have felt it was more of summertime, but this was like a very strong winter December baby. Let's see if we can get when in December. The moon. So the moon is actually number 18 in the tarot deck, so I feel very strong between the 18th and the 21st of December is what I feel. And then we also have the King of Wands beneath here. So their birthday is going to be very close to your partner's birthday, is what I'm feeling here. So if you have a partner who was born in December around the 18th to 21st, or before then or after then, your child's going to be born very close to your partner's birthday here. Okay. Now, I just want to see what attributes, what parts of their personality will show more as they become adults. Okay, so they will deal with the Eight of Swords energy here, but seeing as how I'm doing everything upright, it's almost as if their energy they're going to deal with, but also eventually overcome. As I was saying in the very beginning, your child's going to be very sensitive to negative energy, and this is pretty much as an adult, she's going to have periods where she's going to hold on to a lot of negative energy and release it in like fits of either anger or crying. So she's going to be a very emotional child and an emotional adult. Like, she's going to be very open with her emotions, especially after she's let negativity build up. So for this child, you really have to teach her how to acknowledge her negativity, especially within herself, and negativity placed on by others, because she's not going to be able to realize that. She's going to be the type of person that kind of blames herself for her own negative energy without realizing that sometimes others' negative energy can affect you. The Hermit. So as I was saying, she's not going to have many friends. She's going to have like 2 or 3 very close friends, and that's pretty much going to be it, because she would rather be alone. Especially when she gets older. She's going to be one of those, actually, I just got a message and I wasn't expecting it. Don't expect her to get married until very close to her 30s or into her 30s. As seeing as how she falls in love so quickly, very early on in her 20s, she's going to get into that I would rather party phase, where she's going to spend most of her 20s kind of partying and having fun, hanging out with friends, like not partying like, going to, some random party that makes her feel uncomfortable, but she's going to spend like, go to the club with her friends, so in that case, she feels safe. Like, she's going to have a very active 20-year-old life, but don't expect her to settle down to very close to her 30s or into her 30s. Just because she's going to have a very hard time getting close to people, as from being such an open and loving child early on, she's going to get burned quite a lot, and this is just how she is meant to be. And it's going to be hard to watch, but you have to let them find their own way. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So into her 30s is when she will have more mental clarity. We also have the Queen of Pentacles here. So into her 30s is when she'll start to gain most of her financial abundance, because we also have the Ten of Pentacles here as well. So very much into her 30s is when she'll become financially stable and delve into motherhood. All right. Pile number 1. That's all I really have for you. Like, it was very straightforward, which I really, really love. You don't have to worry, by the way, about this child, because she's not going to have all of the hard times as you did. Rather, she's just going to have, a first world problems. Like, she's going to be like, oh my god, like, there's not enough, like, I don't know, macchiato. Like, she's going to have first world problems, and it's going to be very hard for you at first, because you come from a very different background. You come from a poverty background, but the universe wants you to know that she is going to be a very loving daughter, and people are going to be amazed with the way that you raised her, but you're going to raise her to be a very, very good person, but who she becomes as an adult is completely up to her and not you. So you won't be disappointed in her at all. Like, you won't have any surprise babies. She will not have kids until into her 30s. Like, you won't have to worry about any of that. She's going to do very good in her studies. Like, I feel like you guys need extra extra, like, because, like, you heard that she was going to be a little bit of a wild child, and you're like, oh, I hope not. Like, you don't have to ever have to worry about her getting an abortion and like that. She's going to be very, very safe. She's just going to be a little bit of a wild child. Oh, right. But she's also going to be very, very strong. All right, pile number 1, we do the strength card here. All right, pile number 1, I hope that resonated with you. If it did not, go ahead and choose a different pile. But if it did, I'm glad that it did. And go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to. I will put how to get to my personal readings down below if you'd like to do that as well. And you can donate, you can go ahead and do so. It is not obligated, it is not expected. It is just a nice little thing. So pile 1, once again, have a good rest of your day. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2. Okay. Whew. Pile number 2. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your pile. So we're going to start off with this deck right here. I'm going to put this one to the side. And if you chose the blue bottle, here you go. I'm going to put this down here so you guys can still see it. Okay. And pile number 2. Oops, daisies. Alright, so let's start off, see what gender. I actually can't tell. But we do have the 9 of Cups. So this child, funny enough, can actually be non-binary. But that could be your own choice. So because you may not want to give the child a gender when it first comes. Or it could be something that they decide later on in life. But when they are born, see, this is the funny thing, is that I just keep hearing non-binary. Like, I have a very strong feeling they're going to be born male, but they're going to decide to be non-binary later on in life. But we have the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Sun. This is going to be a very happy child. And the 10 of Pentacles. Oh my god, you guys. Like, you guys are going to have a very healthy, happy... Then you also have the Ace of Swords in the bottom here. You guys are going to have a very happy, healthy child. Since I believe very strongly this child's going to decide to be non-binary, I don't want to say he or she. But yeah, very strong non-binary. This child's going to identify with being more feminine than masculine for sure, but they're definitely going to come out to you in time as non-binary. But they are not going to be that child that's terrified to come out, because you guys are not going to make them feel that way. They're going to feel very open, they're going to feel very alive. This child is just going to be so happy. Like, they won't have to worry about a thing. I'm already getting a birth month. I don't do years because that is completely up to you and your divine plan. But a birth month is very strong March. March energy. But yeah, you guys are just going to have such a happy child. Like, I could not even, they're not going to have one hard time at all in the very beginning of their life, and especially when they find themselves. Like, this is just the happiest. Like, they're going to be strong in their mind. They're going to stand true, create the reality that is best for them. They're going to have all of it that they could ever ask for. They have the 9 of Cups. They're going to have so much love to give. They are going to be so happy and so content with their life. There's not going to be one thing they can complain about. Then we also have the 10 of Pentacles here, so they're going to be raised in a very wealthy home. They won't have to worry about a single thing here. They're going to have, very healthy, stable parents as well, who are going to be open to who they are. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck. Yeah, the King of Wands. So they're going to be born as a male, but choose to become non-binary. And it's going to be a process because of the 10 of Swords below this. So it is going to be a trial to get there, as in the very beginning, they're going to feel pressure to be more masculine. But in the Ten of Swords here, it's a feminine figure. So discovering who they are and who they will be is going to be a trial. It is not going to be easy. And it's not because of you guys, it is their own path here. Because we have the Eight of Cups. It is their own path. They're going to be raised to be very masculine. So the entire, football trophies and all that, soccer trophies, basketball trophies, like these cups here are almost symbolic of trophies. So all of these trophies are pretty much saying you are this masculine figure. And they're kind of going to turn away from all that and take this very, very long walk to discover who they actually are. And then we also have the Four of Swords here. So they're going to spend a lot of time when they're going on this journey, because they're going to have a lot of friends at first, but their friends are going to start falling out almost. Like they're going to start taking more time for themselves. They're going to stop hanging around certain people. So you don't have to worry about this person falling into the wrong group, because they themselves will do what they need to do for themselves. They're going to be very aware of negative energy. They're going to be very psychic, I feel, and very intuitive, though they won't really discover this talent until they're older. The Two of Pentacles. So they're going to have a very stable life because of their parents. Because their parents are going to catch on sooner than they will. And even though, they're still going to raise them to be very masculine at first, they want it to be something that they discover on their own turf. They don't want it to be something that they force on them, like, oh, you should be non-binary. It's just like, hey, we're going to raise you this way, but if you ever decide to be any way else, we will still love you. And that's really what I feel here. So you guys are awesome parents. This is really what I feel here for this pile, is that you're not going to tear down your child for being different. You're really going to welcome them and allow them to be as they want to be, because even though they're going to come out as, very masculine, boy energy here, they're going to love to be in dresses, because like I said, they're going to identify more with the feminine, even though they will be non-binary. So they're going to love wearing dresses. I feel very strong older sister vibes here. So they're going to try to wear her dresses, allow her to do dress up. And around that time is when you guys start realizing, oh yeah, they could either be gay, trans, or non-binary. Like, you guys will know right off the bat that something's up. Oops. Yeah, but they will be allowing themselves to acknowledge that because we also have the Emperor here. So this is the energy that they're going to feel at first, that over discipline, kind of just being whatever everyone wants them to be, but also standing in their power. That's actually going to shift, because we have the Wheel of Fortune here. So it's going to be an energetic shift where they no longer feel that way. They no longer feel they have to be a certain way. Rather, they're going to be very open to however they wish to be. And they're not going to tell their parents right away, but the parents are already going to kind of know, and they're kind of just going to be waiting for them to get to that point themselves, because they don't want to force it on them. And I have a very strong, they're going to sit their parents down at the table and be like, hey, I don't really identify as a man, but I do feel very non-binary. I don't feel like a man or really a woman, though I do identify more with the feminine aspect. And the parents are going to be like, oh, we knew that. We knew that from the start. And they're going to be like, wait, what? Because they're expecting that, are you going to kick me out? Because they're going to listen to other people's horror stories, and that's not how these parents are going to be. And they were like, oh, yeah, no, we saw it from the very beginning, but we wanted you to discover it about yourself. Yeah, and the King of Pentacles. So just happy. When they go through this process, they're going to be so happy because of the King of Pentacles there. And they're going to grow old with that happiness. They're going to live very, very long lives. They're going to be super happy. They're going to be more into men, for sure. They're not going to go through a gender change, however, but they are just going to identify as non-binary. Yeah, and by like literally 2 cards are just being happy and the good luck card. By allowing themselves to acknowledge how they truly feel and who they truly are, they are extremely happy because of it. So once again, very March vibes here. I have a very strong feeling that it's like in the middle of March type birthday here. But yeah, these are going to be very happy kids. So I'm going to get a few more cards based off their personality. They're going to be party people because we have the 4 of Wands, but they're going to be responsible. They're not going to just, party away and do crazy things. They're going to be very quick-witted as well. They're not going to let people walk all over them. Woo! All these cards just flipped out right now. They're going to be very stable, but also have a lot of fun. And also the 2 of Swords, so they're going to be kind of indecisive. They're not really going to know, should I choose this, should I choose that, I don't really know what I should choose this, I should choose that. But that's really going to strongly be their energy. It's going to frustrate you a little bit every now and then, but later on in life, they'll be able to choose a lot better. It's just going to take time, but they naturally are just indecisive. Even though, they're going to be indecisive because they don't really listen to their intuition, and they're going to have a lot of points in their life where they're very stagnant. They're going to feel very kind of like my life isn't going anywhere type deal. But it's mostly because they're just not listening to their intuition, so they're going to need a bit of help in that regard. But in time, they're going to reach this Ace of Swords energy where they're going to have clarity. So they will decide to get married to a man at some point. It's going to be in their mid-20s for sure. Though don't expect much in the career area until they're more closer to their 30s. I feel very strong YouTuber vibes. So they're going to, as a teenager, they're going to start as a YouTuber, but they won't see much success until a bit into their 30s, as it's almost like they're going to become YouTube famous very young, but it's almost like what they actually desire to do won't become apparent until their 30s. But they are going to be a trend setter, is what I'm really feeling here. And we also have the 4 of Wands again below. So they're going to have a very stable, healthy relationship in their marriage, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I think that is all for this pile, as this one's very straightforward here. Whew, so far, no twins. Alright, pile 2, if that resonated with you, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to do a personal reading, I'll have that linked below and how you can get there. If you would like to donate, you can. It is not expected or obligated. It's just something nice. And once again, if that resonated with you, I'm glad. And if it's not, go ahead and choose a different pile. So once again, pile 2, thank you and goodbye. Okay. Let me put these cards up. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the yellow paint bottle, this is your pile. I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. For this child, what I'm feeling is that you guys are not going to get, you guys are going to have a hard time with this one, as it's just going to be a hard time actually becoming impregnated. That's what I'm feeling. kind of feels like you're just, it's almost just like you're going to do everything on time, but you're just going to have a hard time, which sucks. And it's kind of going to weigh down on you because you're going to kind of feel like it's your fault. But know that it's not your fault. It's just that the universe is trying to give you this child at the right time. So these cards fell out, and there's enough. Okay, so I see how these cards are meant to be read. We have the Nine of Wands here, and this is about trying not to let this hard time cripple you. Because as I was saying, you're going to have a hard time becoming pregnant with this pregnancy, and it's really going to weigh you down. But continue to do the work here with the Eight of Pentacles. Continue to do the work, because eventually you will get to the Seven of Wands. You will become pregnant. It is just a cycle. You will eventually get there. Oops, another one flew out. So this pile has a lot of flyouts. And when you do, there will be a lot of celebration. Like, this is literally telling a story right here. I'm feeling very strong end of February, early March vibes. And we also have the Three of Wands here. So you guys will definitely be planning this pregnancy. You guys will not just kind of rush into it. It won't be an accident. This will be very much planned. I'm going to go ahead and pull from this deck now. But yeah, like, you guys are going to have a hard time at first, but it is going to be worth every hardship to get there. Woo! We have the Five of Cups. So it's not... okay, I'm sorry. All these cards flew out. So this is definitely going to be between... Ooh, the Ten of Cups. Ooh. Okay. All those cards flew out. I'm not going to read all of them, but I am going to read this Five of Cups here. So, I feel very strong 1 to 2 here. And the reason why I say 1 to 2 is that you guys are going to be really focused on 1. Like, at the very beginning, you're going to think that it's 1. And then you're going to find out, you're going to be very surprised that you're actually carrying twins with this pregnancy, because we actually, in this Five of Cups, there's one cup kind of hiding behind her. So you're gonna have one baby hiding behind the other. So when you get your 17 to 18 week ultrasound, that's when you're really gonna see the other baby. Depending, it could be 12 week ultrasound. I can't remember when. Temperance as well. So you guys are going to feel so good. You're going to feel like after you figure this out, you're going to be standing in your power. You're also going to be very, very tired. They really wanted to focus on the pregnancy for some reason for this one. Let me actually ask, what is going to be the gender of these two? 2 girls. Literally. In this Four of Wands, there's 2 girls. Okay, I was not expecting that, because almost every other card only has like one character or up to 3. But I literally asked what was the gender, and it's 2 girls. You guys are gonna have 2 girls for your 2 twins here, which is just amazing. Oh my god, I was not expecting that at all. That's the Four of Wands, so it is really going to be a celebration for you. For some of you guys, you've really been wanting these twin girls, and that is coming in for you. Then we have the Three of Wands here. So your daughters are going to be very adventurous. They're going to be very much creating their own way. Like, they're going to go against the grain. They're not going to walk where everybody else is walking. They're not going to go ahead and follow the trends of the society. Like, they're going to really set their own. They're like, no, we don't like that. The only downside is that they will deal with that Eight of Swords energy, where they will have self-image problems. And we have the Three of Pentacles. So we have a lot of threes here. We have the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, and now also the Three of Pentacles here. So they're going to be very intuitive because the number 3 is about intuition and psychic wisdom. And they're going to have a lot of like downloads from past lives. They are actually twin flames themselves. It's like a divine, like they are literally, they're going to be divine counterparts. And they're going to really love and hate each other. Whereas where I get the Eight of Swords from, because they're going to have a lot of arguments about who looks prettier, but they're twins. It feels like they're going to be fraternal twins here, but they're going to have a lot of arguments about who's prettier, who's skinnier, like that type of thing. And so I would honestly say nip that in the bud as quickly as possible. But this is something that they have to overcome themselves. They have a lot of growth that they will have from each other. So then we also have the Six of Pentacles here. So for the firstborn, she's going to be very, very giving. She's going to always want to give so much, and she's going to have enough to give, so she won't tip over her cup here. She's going to be very financially well off later on in life, and so she's going to be very big into charity. She's definitely going to be a YouTuber, I feel, and through her YouTube channel, she's going to be very big on, doing charity things as well. She's going to find almost like, I feel kind of a celebrity vibe here very early on in her YouTube career. Which is where you guys really need to make sure that you remind her to be mindful and to not let it get to her head. She's going to be a very good girl, and she's not going to let that thing get to her head, but it's just that you guys have to be there to guide her, because it's very easy to get swallowed up in all of that drama. And this first daughter is not going to be very big on drama. A lot of her channel stuff is actually going to be about how, her daily life, how she gets through mental health type stuff. Like, she's going to be very inspirational. And she's going to also be very balanced in life. So her finances, her mental health, her emotional health, her physical health, she's going to be very, very fit. It's almost like a life guru. She's going to be very on her game. And for the second child, can I get the second child? She's going to have a lot of friends here. She is going to be, so both of them are going to be very, very giving. Sorry, I have to take a breath there. But both of them are going to be very, very giving. The second one's going to be more giving to her friends. She's going definitely, she's not going to be a YouTuber per se, but she is going to be very big into things like photography, clothing. She's going to have many different little things that she does, all of which will bring her a lot of financial wealth. Yeah, and she's going to have the Hanged Man here, so she's always going to have that the cup is half full mentality. So even when she faces hard times, like, she's always going to have that cup is half full mentality. And we also have the 10 of Cups here, so both of them are going to have very fulfilling lives. Both of them are going to eventually get married at different states in their life. The first one's going to get married more into her 20s, and the second one's going to get married more into her 30s. And this is more of preference rather than, they can't, whatever, like, they just have a different ideas of what should and should not be. Let's try to get, did I already say a birth date? I don't know. The 5 of Cups. So like I said, I'm not reading any reversals. So the energy you actually help them with is looking at the cup. Actually, it's going to be more of the first one, because this one's going to constantly look at the cup half full, while this one's going to constantly look at the cup half empty. So this is actually something that you have to guide the first child through, because she's going to have a habit of staring at what is not going right versus what is going right. And that's just something that you really need to work with. She's going to cry a lot. She's going to be very emotional. She's not going to hide her emotions at all. She is going to be very vocal about how she feels, and she's going to work very hard to really express how she feels. And for the second one, what you really need to help her through is relationships, because we have the Lovers. So she is going to be she's going to have a lot of boyfriends. She's going to have a lot of, sorry, that was a noise I wasn't intending to make. But she's going to have a lot of boyfriends. She's going to constantly fall in love. But it's just because she has so much love to give. But that's something that you really need to help her with. You're going to be hugging her through a lot of breakups. She is going to be very emotional. But she's not going to show her emotions until after everything starts falling apart. So she's not going to be as emotional as the first child here. And I'm going to put one more card in the middle. I don't know if I said a birthday, what type of month. So let me actually see here. We have the Six of Swords here. I'm feeling summertime, because we have the water right there. We have the water. So definitely between June and July type deal. So very much into summer type energy I'm feeling here, which is going to be very hard for you right off the bat, just because you're going to want to spend so much time outside in the sun, but you're going to be going through, the changes of having, twins, and it's just going to be a very, your summer's going to pass right by you. I feel like you guys are very big summer bodies. You love the summertime, you love the sun, you love being in the water, and not being able to do that when they're born, it's going to kind of bum you out a little bit. I think that's why we have the Six of Swords here. But always remember what you were given, even though it may bum you out. Yeah, that's all I really have for you, pile number 3. That was very straightforward, honestly. So I hope that resonated with you. If it did not, go ahead and choose a different pile. But if it did, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to do a personal reading, I'll have how you can do that below. And if you would like to donate, you can go ahead and do so. It is not expected or obligated of you. It is just a nice thing, honestly. But once again, I hope that resonated with you, pile number 3. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and move on to pile number 4. Hello, pile number 4. So if you chose the green bottle, this is your pile. So let me shuffle these cards here. I'm not reading any reversals today. Alrighty. Ooh. Ah! Well, can't say it's not shuffled. Oops, sorry, my bad. Okay, so pile number 4, this is your pile. Go ahead and start off with this deck right here. So first off, boy or girl. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So very big tomboy energy here. So you're going to have... See, the funny thing is that it started off as a female energy, but I keep hearing boy. So I have a very strong feeling that you guys are going to have a daughter off the bat, but she might actually have a sex change to become a man. Because even though it started off as a female, I feel very strong male energy. So you're going to have a daughter, and she's going to come off right off the bat. She's not going to be very girly. She's not going to like dresses. She's going to like really baggy clothes. Like, she is not, like, you will know right off the bat that the way she was born was not the way that she wanted to be. Like, her soul is just not what that is. And then we actually have the Hanged Man. Yeah, so she is definitely going to have a very different perspective, very much so from everyone else. She's going to know very early on that she's not in the skin that she wants to be in. And she's going to really, right off the bat, kind of let you know. Like, before, like, right around the time she's like 10 years old, she's going to be like, hey, you know, Mom, Dad, I don't really feel like I'm a girl. I feel like a boy. Like, she's not going to hide it. Like, she's not going to wait till she's a teenager. She's going to let you know right off the bat. It's like, hey, I don't feel like I'm in my own skin. And you're going to be very supportive in this. You're not going to let her, you know, feel out of place for this, which is very, very good. And we also have the Three of Cups. So this will actually be celebrated because you want them to be able to celebrate who they are. You don't want it to feel like that it's a burden to anybody, because it's really not. They just don't feel as they are, and it is perfectly fine if you don't feel that way. If you feel more like a guy, by all means, do what you want to do with your body. That is your body. That is your life. Allow yourself to become comfortable. And that's really what kind of the agenda they're going to be pushing in their life, is feeling comfortable in your own skin. They're going to have quite a lot of friends, and their friends are going to really acknowledge right off the bat that while she may look like a she actually feels like a he. So, like, they're not going to, you know, make her feel bad about it. They're really going to welcome her. So she's going to have very welcoming, amazing friends that she will be with for a very, very long time. She will meet a lot of judgment from the world, as unfortunately the world is very just unfortunate. But she will always rise above. She'll be very big into energy, into, well, I could say he. He'll be very big into energy, into tarot readings. He will become a tarot reader himself as well. Yeah, like, they are on a roll here. Then we actually have the Knight of Pentacles. So after their sex change, they're actually going to go travel the world on their own type deal, is really what I'm getting from the Knight of Pentacles. They're going to want to travel the world and explore new ways of being. They want to have a deeper understanding of the world itself, of people. I would suggest making sure that you check up on them, you know, quite often, because you never know what can happen. But just being there for them and showing them that they are loved no matter what is very important for them. Then we have the Magician. They're going to be a master of manifestation from a very, very early age. And then we also have the Chariot. So they're going to always be on their right path. So, and they're always going to listen to divine guidance. They won't know what divine guidance is until they get more into their energy, but they're going to be very connected to the angels, to their spirit guides. Like, they are going to be supremely connected. And then we have the King of Wands here. So, funny enough, we have, it's almost like female and looks less like a female and then looks more male here. So, that's really their energy here. The King of Wands is that when they have finished their transition, they're going to be very fiery, very out there. They're going to be, for them, they feel they're going to be very lucky because they won't have very big breasts. So they don't have to, you know, go through as much when they go through transition. But they are going to be very amazing people. They're going to really stand in their power because the wand energy is all about creation here. They are going to be master creators of their divine desires. And they're going to be very loving. They're going to find the King of Cups here. I say going to find because I feel like very strongly this King of Cups in this deck is actually symbolic of their partner. So they will find a lifelong partner who's willing to love them fully, who will also happen to be male. And then they're going to have a very balanced life with the Two of Pentacles here as well. So let's try to find let's see if a birth a month. I don't do years because that is completely up to your divine plan. But around what month will you give birth to these lovely beings? Or being, correction. Okay. These cards almost flew out completely. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. And literally, whenever people say when pigs fly, that's when this will happen. This will definitely be a surprise child for you guys. Because there's literally a pig flying. Like, let me try to show you guys. There's literally a pig flying. So this child's going to come very unexpectedly. I'm feeling very strong November vibes. Depending on the person, it can be very strong March or November vibes, depending on when you conceive. But very, very strong November vibes here. Like, they're just going to surprise you. They're just going to suddenly be there, and you're just going to be like, what? I don't, how this happened? It's almost like, for this pregnancy, it feels very, like, that's why I said a March, November vibes here. So you're going to find out that you're pregnant in March is what I'm feeling here, and you're going to give birth in November because that's literally 9 months apart here. So you're going to find out that you're pregnant in March, and then time's just going to speed by so quickly, and then November's going to roll around, and boom, there you go. Like, you guys are not going to be expecting it. This wasn't a pregnancy that you planned for by any means. Let's look at their overall personality here. The Eight of Cups, they're going to be a little heartbreaker. And that's because they're going to be very good at walking away from people that are not good for them. Because of the Judgment card, they're going to go to a lot of people that are not deserving of them, just because they are still learning themselves, they're still learning who they desire to be, and because of this, they're going to have a lot of relationships end rather abruptly because they no longer feel love is being given. So in love life, it's going to be a while. They're not going to find a lifelong partner until very close to their 30s, late 20s. But they will be very, very happy people. Like, their personality is so happy and bright. Like, they're gonna, like, when they enter a room, people just look at them and they're like, oh wow, like, this person is just glowing. And that is really how they are. Very early on in life, they're actually going to deal with acne as well. But they're going to rule as they get older. When they get older, you know, their skin's going to clear up. They're going to, you know, really stand in their power. They're definitely going to be a cat person more than a dog person. But once again, as I said, they're going to go through a lot of heartbreak with this Three of Wands on the bottom. Let's see what type of career they will pursue here. Oop. A few cards fell into my lap. The Hermit. So, I need to pull a few more cards because that... Oh, wait. I got it. They're going to be a life coach. Yep, the Chariot again. They're going to be helping others through their darkest times. Like, they are definitely going to be a life coach. They're going to, especially people who are transitioning, they're going to help through tarot readings. They're going to help through things like this, especially, like, you know, going on YouTube, posting readings, doing personal readings, and they're really going to try to help people through their darkest times here. And funny enough, we have the Hermit and the Chariot. So we have one of being solitude and stationary, and we have one about movement. So they are helping people move out of this hermit energy into this chariot energy, so they feel more in control of their lives. Like, they are going to be amazing, you guys. All right, pile number 4, I hope that resonated with you. If it did not, go ahead and choose a different pile, but if it did, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you like a personal reading, go ahead and I will have that down in the description below. If you'd like to donate, you can. It is not expected or obligated. It's just a nice thing. And once again, if that resonated with you, I'm glad that it did, and I hope to see you guys another day. Okay, goodbye.